When you picture an ancient battle, what comes to mind? Perfectly aligned formations, precise maneuvers, and heroic clashes, right? These images, shaped by Hollywood and history books, fail to capture the raw, chaotic reality of ancient warfare. What did it truly mean to stand shoulder to shoulder with comrades in the thick of the fight? How did soldiers endure the emotional and physical toll of combat? And what role did strategy and psychology play on the battlefield? In this video, we strip away the myths to reveal the brutal, human truth of ancient warfare. If you're ready to see history like never before, hit the like button, subscribe, and prepare for an eye-opening journey into the past. Imagine standing in full armor, drenched in sweat, surrounded by comrades who share your fears. You can hear the clinking of weapons, the murmurs of whispered prayers, and the occasional cry of defiance. In the hours or even days before a battle, soldiers were consumed by uncertainty. The enemy was often nearby, but commanders hesitated to act, seeking the perfect moment to strike. Tension simmered as soldiers stood in the sweltering heat, enduring hunger, discomfort, and the rank smell of their encampment. Fear manifested physically, trembling hands, cold sweats, and pounding hearts. Yet this wasn't just about survival. Soldiers trusted their generals to find the right moment to act. But impatience could be deadly, as Pompey's disastrous decision at Pharsalus showed when he gave in to his troops' demand to attack prematurely. When the order to engage finally came, everything changed. Adrenaline surged, and soldiers shifted from fear to focus. Ancient military strategy was designed to channel this energy. Tacticians like Vegetius emphasized discipline, and formations like the checkerboard, which allowed flexibility during combat. Generals inspired their troops with fiery speeches, riding along the front lines to stir courage and determination. Soldiers knew their commanders could reward their bravery or severely punish cowardice. A general's presence on the battlefield was pivotal. At Watling Street, Paulinus's speech reminded his troops of their strength and the enemy's vulnerabilities, turning dread into resolve. In Roman warfare, standing still to absorb an enemy charge was rare. Soldiers often advanced at a sprint to close the gap swiftly. However, adaptability was key. Take Caesar's veterans at Pharsalus. Facing Pompey's deep, tightly packed ranks, they halted mid-charge, reformed their lines, and advanced slowly. This unexpected maneuver countered Pompey's strategy and showcased the discipline of Caesar's legionaries. Yet such tactics often devolved into chaos. Dust, noise, and poor visibility disrupted formations, leaving soldiers to rely on instinct and training as they closed in on the enemy. The clash wasn't immediate. Before soldiers reached each other, they exchanged volleys of javelins. For the Romans, the pilum, a specialized javelin, was a critical weapon. With an effective range of 20 meters, soldiers had mere seconds to throw it, unsheathe their swords, and prepare for close combat. This tactic wasn't exclusive to Rome. Iberians, Gauls, and even Thracians used similar methods to disrupt enemy lines and shields. Once the javelins flew, chaos erupted. Ancient battles were rarely the quick, decisive events we imagine. Clashes could last hours, sometimes days, with relatively low casualties until one side's formation broke. At that point, a rout could turn deadly. Casualties skyrocketed as panicked soldiers fled, only to be cut down by the pursuing victors. Roman battles were dynamic. Sections of the army advanced, retreated, and regrouped, often over significant distances. Caesar's writings describe the Helvetii being pushed back a mile before they could regroup on higher ground. Despite the chaos, Roman armies demonstrated remarkable resilience. Systems existed to rotate tired or wounded soldiers from the front lines, though this was often improvised rather than systematic. Modern theories like the dynamic standoff theory help us understand the interplay of mobility, strategy, and psychological endurance, that defined Roman warfare. Hollywood loves to show soldiers recklessly charging into enemy ranks. In reality, fear and self-preservation often kept soldiers grounded. Hand-to-hand combat was traumatic, even for veterans. Most relied on their shields for defense, rarely risking a bold attack unless commanded. Leadership was crucial in overcoming fear. Historical accounts highlight moments of heroism, such as a standard-bearer rallying troops at Pydna or a centurion leading volunteers into critical positions at Pharsalus. These acts inspired soldiers to hold the line, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Victories in ancient battles were rarely decided by prolonged fighting. Instead, they hinged on psychological dominance. A small breach in the enemy line could ripple through their ranks, spreading panic and leading to a catastrophic rout. At Zama, Roman forces exploited gaps in the enemy's formation, triggering widespread fear and collapse. This pattern explains the low casualties during combat but devastating losses during retreats. Ancient battles were chaotic, emotional, and deeply human experiences. They demanded discipline, resilience, and psychological fortitude. Understanding these dynamics reveals the harsh realities behind the stories of heroism and strategy. But this is just the beginning. In future videos, we'll explore more about ancient warfare's tactics, strategies, and the lives of the soldiers who lived and died on the battlefield. Even after the dust settled and the battlefield became eerily quiet, the true cost of war became painfully clear. The wounded were left to suffer, and the dead, often unburied, littered the ground. Soldiers who survived carried emotional scars long after the battle had ended. Ancient warfare wasn't just a test of physical endurance, but a psychological struggle that haunted many for the rest of their lives. PTSD, though not recognized at the time, was a very real consequence, as soldiers tried to make sense of the brutality they had witnessed and participated in. The aftermath of ancient battles reveals just how deeply warfare impacted not only those on the front lines, but also the societies they returned to, forever altered by the violence and trauma they had endured. Thank you for joining us as we uncover the gritty truth of ancient combat. If you enjoyed this exploration, like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating insights into history's most gripping battles. Stay tuned for the next episode in this series. We promise even more shocking revelations about what war really looked like.